Alright, so last video we went over the circle of fifths. Circle of fifths is a wonderful tool that you will hold on to for time to come. You'll find yourself constantly going back to it whenever you learn something new. The way it just organizes everything you understand is something that's terrific. But for this video, we're going to put that to the side for now, and we're going to open up the conversation about chords. Chords. What are they? Where do they come from? What makes them what they are? And then with that knowledge, it's going to shift us towards conversations about harmony, which is the point of this whole thing. Harmony, which is questions and answers about why certain sounds, chords go together to make music, and why certain things don't, which is really fascinating. So let's just start this idea with chords. Chords. What is a chord? A chord, by definition, is at least two sounds played simultaneously. Now, for this video, though, we're going to be concerned with triads. It's a new term. Every person that picked up guitar, one of the first things everyone learns, is your basic chords. Basic beginner tool set of chords to use, which is, your C major, G major, A minor, things like that. So what we're going to do is that we're going to reintroduce ourselves to that tool set that we were given and understand it from a different angle. Now, triads, as we said earlier, a chord is at least two sounds played at the same time. A triad is three. Now, three is important. Three is a very important number. The chords that we're already familiar with, the main chords, major chords and minor chords, major and minor, are composed of three notes. Three notes make up major chords. Three notes make up minor chords. Now, what the point of this video is that we're going to explain what three notes makes up what chord and why. Now, let's take it from the top with our best friend that we've grown acquainted with now, which is, sorry for the lighting, guys, the C major scale. Now, we like it because it's naked, right? No sharps or flats, easy to remember. Now, the added layer on top is that we have to add these numbers here. Every single step of the major scale is its own important character, so to speak. Every single degree brings something to the table when we're constructing chords, which is the first main point, is that chords come from the notes from the scale. If you're making a C chord of whatever flavor, whatever shade, the chord is made up of notes that come from the C major scale. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but so every degree of the scale has a corresponding number. Okay? There's the one note, the two, the three, the four. And this is all in the key of C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you really want to get technical about it, this is just a quick thing, is that every number actually has a very proper academic name, if you can believe it. Like the 1 is called the tonic, the 5 is called the dominant, and so on and so forth. We'll cover that sometime in the future. So with this in mind, the scales and the numbers, now I want to reintroduce you to a friend that you've already met, which is major. C major, G major, F major, whatever major. What is major? What is it exactly? Now, in your head, we just saw the scale and we saw the numbers underneath each note, right? A major chord is the following: the 1, the 3, and the 5. The 1, the 3, and the 5 played simultaneously. The 1, the 3, and the 5. The 1, the 3, and the 5. So if we go back to the C major scale, so you see there, everything's from 1 to 8, the corresponding numbers on top. So what's the major? So the 1 is right there. This at C. The 3 is right there. There goes your E. And then the 5 is right there. G. 1, 3, 5, 1 C, 3 E, 5 G. 1, 3, 5 C, E, G. C E G 1 3 5 C E G in the key of C 1 3 5 C E G C E G. That makes up your C major chord. So just to prove to you, it's for fun, pick up your guitar and finger your C major chord. Everyone's familiar with it, right? Your C major chord, third fret of the A string, second fret of the D string, and open G. Those 3 notes. Well, you have the first fret of the B string, which is just another C. So you can repeat the same notes again. So third fret of the A, second fret of the D, and open G. What are those notes? What are those notes that you're playing when you play your fingered C? Well, third fret of the A, that's a C. Second fret of the D, that's an E. And then an open G is G. C, E, G. C, E, G. C, E, G 1 3 5. C, E, G 1 3 5 of the C major scale. That's what makes that chord a C major chord. That's why it's a C major chord. That's what it is the 1 3 5 of the C. So that's example of C, but let's use some other examples here. Okay, so here's your C major scale. The lighting keeps killing me, Smalls. Okay, so there's your C major scale. It's so hard to see. C major scale, and then the 1, the 3, and the 5 are underlined. If you can see that, C, E, and G, right? So bloop, C, E, G. There's your C major chord. Now let's use a different scale. There's your G major scale. You see that? G major scale right underneath it. Now the 1, 3, and the 5, they're underlined. You see that? G, B, and D. Oh, G, B, D. Let's keep going. A. There's your A major scale. 1 3 5. You see that? A, C sharp, and E. A, C sharp, E. Last one, D. There's your D major scale, underline. There we are. D, F sharp, and A. D, F sharp, and A. C major, C, E, G. G major, G, B, D. A major, A, C sharp, E. D major, D, F sharp, A. So these are all major chords. These are your major triads. And the major triads are what they are because they're the 1s, the 3s, and the 5s of their respective scales. Does that make sense? And the same exercise we did with the C, where you finger it and you look that it's true. The same thing can be done for your D. Play your D, that little triangle at the bottom of your neck. You'll find that you're playing the D, the F sharp, and the A. If you look at it closely, same thing with G. Same thing with every chord. This is how chords work. Now, that's the major point here, is that we took the idea of major and we broke it down to its components. What it's made out of. Major is 1 3 5. That's what major is. And so that same way that the title, the chord name, is reducible to notes from the scale, is a relationship between every chord that you've ever heard of, and more. We've heard of major, we've heard minor, we've heard diminished, we've heard augmented, add 9, dominant 7, all that stuff. Every single chord that you can think of that you've heard of is reducible, is a very specific combination of scale notes. That's what chords are. That's what they are, okay? Alright, so we went over the C major scale, we've numbered them. We got 1 3 5, we made the major scale, we applied that to C, G, A, and D, and that's given us majors. Now, oh god, it's already 10 minutes, man. Time flies. Now, in the next video, I'm going to go over minor. Minor is not that much more complicated than major. And then once we have that solid grip on not on your majors and minors, on what they are, the next step is for you guys is that you have to familiarize yourself with what these triads are, because that's going to be essential when we talk about harmony, which is the whole point of this stuff, which gets me excited, is that you'll learn certain sounds, certain chords are like members of family that work together. And it's going to be important because a lot of this will be exercise written on paper. It's going to be important for you to be able to recognize and very fast what major or what minor combination or what combinations of notes make up major or minors. What are the three notes that make up E minor? What are the three notes that make up whatever? You have to be familiar with that. And when it comes together, it's going to be great, okay? A lot of information. Take your time, ask questions, and see you in the next video, all right?